The third pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select. We're going to figure that out in just a couple of days as draft week is here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm tired of speculating. I'm sure you guys are tired of all the speculation, but we are almost at the finish line. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for rolling in. We got a lot of information to talk about. Adam Schefter, Todd McShay, multiple Giants beat reporters came out with reports today, and we got to talk about it. Not at the studio yet, with the Knicks tipping off against the Pistons later tonight. So a little bit of a later start for me, but I couldn't hold off on getting you guys the information that we know. That's why you subscribe to the channel. We put out free videos every day, no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing. So please go down, hit that big red subscribe button. Give us a shot. We're going to be live for every single pick of the 2025 NFL Draft. And we're going to be your one-stop shop all draft week and weekend. So subscribe, turn those notifications on, and help us get to our next goal of 72,000 subscribers. All righty, let's dive into it. Adam Schefter came out with an article this morning talking about the latest he has heard on the New York Football Giants, as well as the rest of the NFL draft rumors. And let's start with this, saying no team has done more work on one player than the Giants have done on Shedeur Sanders. Another NFL general manager said about the Giants general manager, quote, Joe Schoen has been living in Boulder, Colorado. Another quote from the article, there is a belief around the league that certain segments of the Giants organization wants Sanders more than others. Per sources, Sanders wants to be in a place where he has the full support of an organization. Let's stop right there. We got a lot more to talk about, a lot more quotes from Shefty. There's a belief around the league that certain segments of the Giants organization want Sanders more than others. I have heard that the coaching staff is looking to target the best player available. And it makes sense. Brian Daboll, a coach on the hot seat, wants to add a player that he feels is going to make this team better immediately. While there are people inside the front office that want Shedeur Sanders. I don't know who it is or what people in the front office. That's just what I've been told at this moment. We'll go to the next quote. Even if the Giants bypass Sanders with their top picks, says Shefty, and there are split opinions across the league about whether they will, they always can attempt to trade back into round one or try to land him later. And this has kind of been the new juice that we've been hearing over the last week or so. A lot of experts expect the New York Giants to select Abdul Carter with the number 3 overall pick. But we've now heard Adam Schefter, as well as Todd McShay, and other NFL draft insiders that are connected across the league say the New York Giants could be looking to trade up back into round one to select a quarterback. Some people have speculated that it's Shedeur Sanders. Others are speculating that it's Jackson Dart. We broke down the report earlier last week that Brian Daboll likes Jackson Dart. Not to say he doesn't like Shedeur Sanders, but that is just what we know at this point. I also want to go, and also Peter Schrager, very good friends with Joe Schoen, said he thinks it's more likely the New York Giants trade back into round one than select Shedeur Sanders with the number 3 overall pick. Shefty also saying, as some evaluators have pointed out, if the Giants like Shedeur enough to trade back into round one for him, they should just like him enough to take him at number 3. As an NFL executive said about the Giants, quote, if they like Shedeur, they're taking him at 3. And that's really where I've gotten to and where I've kind of settled over the past couple of weeks. If the New York Giants believe that Shedeur Sanders is a franchise quarterback, that he can hold up the Lombardi Trophy on the stage with John Mara and Roger Goodell and Steve Tisch with the confetti falling on him, if they think he's a Fetty guy, they're going to take him number 3 overall. We've heard Joe Schoen throughout the draft process, time and time and time again, say, I'm not going to reach on a quarterback. If one is not there, I am not going to take him. It is not mandatory for me to take him. My feet are not being held to the fire. The pick and the value has to match up, which means if the New York Giants select Shedeur Sanders number 3 overall, they think that he is a franchise elevating and changing type of quarterback, because that's the type of quarterback you take with the number 3 overall pick. We got a lot more to talk about with Shedeur Sanders, Todd McShay giving some major juice, as well as other Giants beat reporters. But my question to you is this: should the Giants leave round one with Shedeur Sanders? Type Y for yes, type N for no. And if you want Shedeur and the Giants, hit that thumbs up icon. Todd McShay saying New Orleans is not going to take Shedeur Sanders at 9. He also said New Orleans is not going to take Shedeur Sanders at number 40. Essentially saying that the Saints are out on the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes. So there we are on that, which kind of puts a little color to the picture of how far does Shedeur, or will Shedeur fall, and how far does he have to fall for Joe Schoen to pick up the phone and jump back into round one? I'm sure he's already talked to 31 other general managers and set up his favorite thing, which is contingency plans. If the draft falls like this, let's agree to a trade like this prior to it happens. He always talks about it, and I'm sure he's already worked out a couple of those deals. Also from McShay, there's a little bit more of a push than expected from the personnel people, and the coaching staff is anti-taking Shedeur at number 3. A lot to look into that. The coaching staff is anti-taking Shedeur at 3. Does that mean Brian Daboll does not want him? Are there other coaches? I don't know. At the end of the day, it's Joe Schoen's pick. He's a general manager. He said that in his press conference last week. If there is a split, like a couple people have suggested today, Joe Schoen, you get to make the call. And it sounds like he doesn't have to worry about John Mara, because McShay says, I've been told John Mara has been staying out of it. Also, McShay, as of 48 hours ago, there is still a little push from the personnel department. Apparently, someone on that side, or multiple people on that side, have said, quote, let's consider Shedeur at number 3. I'll say this. I don't want the Giants picking a quarterback unless everybody that is employed by the New York Giants believes that that quarterback is a franchise-elevating guy, at least for the number 3 overall pick. If Joe Schoen wants to go against the wishes of Brian Daboll, speaking theoretically here, and trade into round 1 to get Shedeur, fine. But you do not make a pick at number 3 unless everybody that works at 1925 Giants Drive believes that that is the right selection. Ryan Dunleavy, who covers the New York Giants, says basically Shedeur Sanders is still in play at number 3 and for the Giants, and he also says there seems to be a split of who wants who. So now you have McShay, Schefter, and Ryan Dunleavy all saying there seems to be a split of who wants who. Jordan Renan said he believes the Giants will select Abdul Carter at number 3. Also said he does not believe Sanders will be taken at 3 due to the disconnect of public opinion and that of the Giants' actual board, something around those lines. So there we go. That's what we got. It's draft week. It's smokescreen season. I think the Giants are going to take Abdul Carter at 3. From what I've heard, from putting on my cap of just trying to connect the dots and everything that we've heard, I think Abdul Carter is a Giant at 3. And I also think there's a major chance that they trade back into round 1, especially if Shedeur falls past pick 9, to make him a New York Football Giant. Wow. It's draft week. It's smokescreen season. But I do think when 3 people all report there's a disconnect in the front office compared to the coaching staff of who wants who, that might just be true. And I think the reason you're hearing that Renan thinks it's Carter and other people thinks it's Sanders is because maybe Renan's talking to the people in the building that think and want Abdul. And maybe Dunleavy and others are talking to people that think and want Shedeur. Not many more days to figure it out. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. 3 more sleeps until we know who's going to be the pick or picks in the first round for the New York Football Giants. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon and give me a shudders down in the comment section. We miss you, Bill.